Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today just to look at here, what I have given here, x plus 2. Can you tell me this expression will becomes, if I write instead of x minus 2, what are you ready? If I write instead of x minus 2, tell me what the answer you are getting. I think if I write minus 2, I am getting 0. Minus 2 plus 2 is equals to 0. So what is the value of x I have written so that my expression becomes 0? I think that is minus 2. So therefore today's topic is what is the 0 of the polynomial. Today's topic is what is the 0 of the polynomial. So what makes me 0 means the value of x, if I write minus 2, this entire expression becomes 0. That means instead of x I have written minus 2. So this minus 2 is called the 0 of the polynomial. Most of the students are getting confused exactly what is the 0 of the polynomial. That is nothing. What is the value of x? I have to write so that my expression becomes 0. My polynomial becomes 0. Second example. You tell me 2 minus x. What will be the value of x so that this expression, this polynomial becomes 0? Instead of x, what should I write so that this expression becomes 0? If I write instead of x 2, this becomes the 0. So instead of x, what I have written? Instead of x, what I have written? I have written 2. So this 2 is called the 0 of the polynomial. In simple language, exactly what is the 0 of the polynomial? What would be the value of x I have to write in place of x so that my expression, my polynomial becomes 0, and hence this 2 is called the 0 of the polynomial. Let's do one more example. Actually, next example is x plus 7. In this x plus 7, what would be the value of x so that if I write instead of x, this expression becomes 0. Look at here. If instead of x I used to write minus 7, then this becomes entirely 0. So why it becomes 0? Because my x value I took minus 7. So this minus 7 is called the 0 of this polynomial. Let's further discuss. I think till now you are getting what is the 0 of the polynomial. 0 of the polynomial is nothing. Instead of x, what you have to write so that the entire expression becomes 0. In this case, you can tell me what is the 0 of the polynomial. Instead of x, if I write minus 25, then this minus 25 plus 25 becomes 0. So which number I have written instead of x? ये x की प्लेस में कौन सा नंबर हम लिखें? minus 25. And this minus 25 is called the 0 of the polynomial. Let's further discuss. If 2x plus 5, in this case, what would be the value of x? What would be the value of x so that my expression becomes 0? You want to find what would be the 0 of the polynomial? Very simple answer is, let me start with whatever the polynomial given. Whatever the polynomial given, that you just write equals to 0. To find the value of x, exactly actually what we are finding, which value of x will make the expression 0. That means you are going to find the value of x. So 0 is nothing but find the value of x. Finally, what I'm telling, you find the value of x, that number will definitely the 0 of the polynomial. Now let's find here. This is the polynomial given and I want to find what is the 0 of this polynomial. So better what I'm doing, the given polynomial tends to 0, right, equals to 0, and find the value of x. 2x is equals to minus 5, this plus 5 becomes minus 5, x is equals to minus 5 divided by 2. And now this, what is the value of x I got? I got x is equals to minus 5 by 2. This means minus 5 by 2 is the 0 of this polynomial. The 0 of this polynomial is nothing but minus 5 by 2. I think here it is getting clear. So if I find what is the 0 of that polynomial, means you must keep in mind you are finding x value. Getting? If I am finding what is the 0 of the given polynomial, I mean to say I will find what exactly the value of x is. If x I found, I got what is the 0 of this polynomial. So the 0 of this polynomial is minus 5 by 2. If you want to check, you can check here also. 2x plus 5 is the polynomial. What is the value of x I got? Minus 5 by 2. If I write instead of this x minus 5 by 2, definitely my answer will be equals to 0. Let's see. 2 into x. What is x? Minus 5 by 2. 2x over plus 5. Plus 5 is there, plus 5. 2 to cancel. Minus 5 plus 5 equals to 0. And hence, this minus 5 by 2 is the 0 of the polynomial. So this is the way actually how to find the 0 of the polynomial. Now, so to find the 0 of the polynomial, let me find one more. After that, we'll just go in detail, different types. X square minus, suppose 9. This is the given polynomial. And is asking, what is the 0 of this polynomial? What is the 0 of this polynomial? Let me find. X square minus 9. And I want to find the 0. Let me tens is equals to 0. X square becomes 9. As a result, x becomes root 9. And root 9 value is, it may be plus or minus 3. So therefore, x value I got 3 as well as minus 3. So hence, the 0 of this polynomial, especially the 0 of this polynomial is 3 and minus 3. So how many zeros I got? I got 2 zeros. And this is what type of polynomial? This is a quadratic polynomial. If it is a quadratic polynomial, maximum number of zeros I'll get 2. But previously I was discussing a linear polynomial, and hence if it is a linear polynomial, the maximum number of zero only 1. So there is only 1 0 if it is linear polynomial. If it is a quadratic polynomial, the number of zeros would be definitely 2. Maximum number of zeros will be 2. Maximum I am telling. Now we are going to find the zeros of the different types of the polynomial. What are the zeros? First, we'll discuss the linear polynomial. Remember this finding the 0 of the polynomial is very important. Sometimes you are getting, and after this we'll discuss the previous year's questions, which is most frequently repeated. Now we are finding the zeros of the linear polynomial. Zeros of the polynomial, but I am taking the linear polynomial. How to find the 0 of the linear polynomial? Now, this is this ax plus b. This is called the general form of the linear polynomial. Ax plus b. This is which form? General form, or what we can say standard form of the linear polynomial. This is the general form of a linear polynomial. What we can say? We can say the standard form also. The standard form of a linear polynomial. I want to find what is the 0 of this polynomial. This is a linear polynomial. Why? Because the degree is 1. and what is the 0 of this polynomial. Let me find. This is the general form. What is the 0 of this polynomial? And if I want to find what is the 0 of the polynomial, what I am going to find? I am going to find what is the value of x. What is the value of x? That value of x is nothing but the 0 of this polynomial. So whenever I am finding the zeros of the polynomial, what I am finding? Again I repeat, what I am finding? X value. X value is nothing but the 0 of the polynomial. कभी भी अगर आपको 0 फाइंड करना, what is the 0 of the given polynomial? You are nothing to find. You have to find only the value of x. आपको खाली x की वैल्यू फाइंड करना. अगर x की वैल्यू आ गया, आपका आंसर मिल गया. That will definitely the 0 of the polynomial. Most often the students are getting confused. Students confuse हो रहे. So there is no confusion. Whenever he is asking find the 0 of the polynomial, you are to find what? X value. The value of x. Find the 0 of the polynomial means you keep in your mind that I am going to find x value. That's all. Now let me find what is the 0 of this standard form of the linear polynomial. As I told you, whenever you are finding the 0 of any polynomial, you just write that polynomial is equals to 0. Very important, keep in mind. Whenever you are finding whether it is a linear or quadratic, then the given polynomial you write is equals to 0. Because I want to find the value of x. क्यों मुझे x की वैल्यू फाइंड करना. x is equals to minus b plus b becomes minus b. X is equals to minus b by a. This is the 0 of the polynomial. Because x value what I got? I got x is equals to minus b by a. Because instead of this x, if I write this value, definitely this linear polynomial will becomes equals to 0. If you want, you can check here. But you need to check a x. What is the x value I got here? Minus b by a. Minus b by a plus b. Now you see what I am getting. This a gets cancelled. Minus b plus b, which is nothing but the 0. So x value, what I have taken? I have taken x value is equals to minus b by a. This is the x value, and hence this is my 0 of this given polynomial. I hope you are getting. Once again I repeat, whenever you are finding the 0 of the polynomial, you write is equals to 0 and find the value. Very simple. Very simple. Find x is equals to, that x will be definitely equals to your 0 of the polynomial. Now based on this, we have to do some numericals and we have to find some 0 of the polynomial. Let's find. Question is find the 0 of the polynomial. Find the 0 of the polynomial. Find the 0 of the polynomial. Let me take first 5x minus 7. What kind of polynomial this is? Linear polynomial. Why? Because the degree is 1. Therefore, we have to find the value of x. Because he is asking to find the 0 means you are going to find x. That's all. Nothing else. 0 of the polynomial means you are going to find x value. That's all. And just before a minute I told you how to find the given polynomial. This given polynomial I'll write as equals to 0. Make x as a subject. X as a subject means you are going to find x value. 5x is equals to 0 plus 7. 7 only. X is equals to 7 by 5. Finish. This x value, which is 7 by 5, this is the 0 of this polynomial. Let's do one more. Suppose one plus sign will take 3x plus 5. Again, I will do the same thing. 3x plus 5 equals to 0. Now 3x equals to minus 5, or x is equals to minus 5 by 3. So what is the 0 of this polynomial? The 0 of this polynomial is minus 5 by 3. So this x value, instead of this x value, if I write minus 5 by 3, then this polynomial will definitely becomes 0. And hence this minus 5 by 3 is the 0 of the polynomial. Now for the MCQ questions, multiple choice question, how fast you can do? How fast you can do for the multiple type questions. Suppose it is given the 0 of the polynomial, 5x minus 15 is. He is asking the objective question. The 0 of the polynomial 5x minus 15 is. Very simple. Within a half minute you can do, which doesn't need the calculation. Very speedily you can do. Look at how to do. You just write the minus sign. Actually here this is a, x, and this is b. A, x and b. So minus of, right, what is your b? Minus 15. This is your a. This is your a and this is your b. Because the general form is ax and b. So minus divided by your a. What is your a? 5. This gives me 15 by 5, and which is equals to 3, and the answer is 3. Within a second you can do. What exactly I did? I have written minus of this one. This is your a. This is your a. Let me write once. Before x, the coefficient of x is nothing but your a, and this constant is b. And the formula is minus of b by a. Minus b, my b is minus 15 and a is 5. So minus of minus becomes plus. 15 over 5. This gives me 3. Let's do 1, 2. Because you must be perfect. The 0 of the polynomial 2x plus 4 is. Very simple. Minus, immediately write minus b, your b is 4 by your a is 2. This gives me answer 2 on the 2 to the answer is minus 2. I hope you are getting. Let's do one more. The 0 of the polynomial 5x plus 25 is. Pause the video, you try it. It's very simple. Minus b is 25 by a is 5. So this gives me the answer is minus 5. So these are the ways of finding the zeros of the polynomial. But what kind of polynomial we discussed? We discussed only linear polynomial we discussed. This is the way how to find the zeros of the polynomial. Clear? Once again I am repeating, whenever you are finding the 0 of the polynomial, what you have to do? You are to find what is x. Keep in mind, zeros is nothing but you are finding the value of x. That's all. Now second is, which is a little bit of more important than this linear polynomial, which is quadratic. Now we are going to discuss about the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, which is very important, more important than the linear. In fact, this linear polynomial you are getting in objective MCQ or sometimes in 2 marks question, but quadratic polynomial most often you are getting subjective. So what is the name of the polynomial? Quadratic. So the heading is how to find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. Now let me write the general form of the quadratic polynomial. All of you know, I think, ax square plus bx plus c. This is the general form of the quadratic polynomial. We'll discuss few questions how to actually find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. For that, let me take one example, because with the help of the example we'll better understand. First is heading is find the zero of the polynomial. Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial. Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial. So let me start with the one example. We are going to find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. This is my quadratic polynomial. Why? Because the highest power is 2 and hence degree is 2. So what would be the value of x so that this entire expression, this entire polynomial will become 0. ये x की प्लेस में से कौन सा नंबर लिखे तो हमारा ये पूरा आंसर 0 आता. So exactly again what we are going to find, what would be the value of x so that this entire expression becomes 0. If you check one by one, this will take a sufficient time. If you suppose first take x is equals to 1, if I take x is equals to 1, let me check whether I am getting 0 or not. 1 square plus 7 into 1 plus 10. 1 square is 1, 7 plus 10, 10 plus 7 plus 1, which becomes 18. I am not getting 0. That means this 1 is not the 0 of this polynomial. Because instead of x, if I write 1, I am not getting 0. I am getting non-zero, which is not 0. But if I want to find what is the 0 of the polynomial, my answer must be equals to 0. But I am not getting. If I take x is equals to 2, still I am not getting. 2 to the 4 plus 7 to the 14. 14 plus 4, 18. 18 plus 10, I am not getting. That means there is some method. There is a method in which we can find the 0 of the quadratic polynomial in spite of subtracting like this. Instead of doing all these lengthy methods, x is equals to 1, x is equals to 2, x is equals to 3, it will take sufficient time. And it's not guarantee whether we are getting or not. This is not guarantee whether at a one instant of time we are going to get a 0 or not. No guarantee. So therefore, to get the exact value of x, we have to do one method which is called the splitting method. The name of the method is splitting method. That means we'll factorize by a method called splitting method. Split means 1 into 2. 2 parts will make. But which one will make 2 parts? The central one. This number 7. This number 7 will divide into 2 parts. Therefore, this is called the splitting method. This 7 will divide. But how to divide? That is the biggest question of this finding the 0 of the quadratic polynomial. Once again, let me repeat. X square plus 7x plus 10. I am going to find what is the 0 of this polynomial. Means I am going to find what would be the value of x. I told you 0 means you are finding x only. Right? And the method what we are adopting here, we are going to follow. The name of the method is factorization by splitting method. Splitting means 2. We'll start. Suppose 10. 10 means we can add 5, 5. We can add 8 plus 2, 10. We can add 9 plus 1, 10. We can add 5 plus 5 also 10. But which one we have to split? The middle one. What is the middle number? 7. This 7 will divide into 2 parts. This 7 will divide into 2. We divide in such a way that if you add those two numbers, suppose 5 and 2. 5 plus 2, what I am getting? 7. Yes, of course. But second thing is, again if you multiply these two, your answer must be this one. So what is the first method? Let me start from the beginning. What are the steps to be followed? Do one thing. What is the coefficient of x square? 1. You multiply this 1 and 10. 1 and 10. 1 10 the 10. This 10 can be factorized in two ways. Like this. 2 and 5. Now 5 plus 2 Is it giving 7? Yes. This 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay. Second, 50% over. If you are getting this two number, you got 50%, but still 50% is there. Sometimes that 50% makes you confused also. Multiply this first and last number. Multiply. 1 10 ja 10. These two numbers, what I got? 5 and 2. 5 2 ja 10. That means 1 10 ja 10. 5 2 ja 10. Okay? Right. Again, if I add these two, I must get 7. If I add these two, I must get 7. If I multiply these two, I must get this one. 1 10 ja 10. Then only it is correct. Getting? So these two numbers I got from 10. You first check 5 plus 2. If you add, you will get this one. Right. 50% over. Next, what to check? Again, you multiply these two. If I multiply, what I am getting? 5 2 ja 10. Then these two also you check. 1 10 ja 10. That means these two numbers are my perfect numbers. So what to do? X square plus, instead of this 7x, I'll write these two number. 5x plus 2x and this 10 as it is. Now you can write in the beginning 0 or you can write at the last also, no problem. You can write from here also, because we are going to find the zeros. Now take the common. X plus 5 plus, what is the common here? 2. In 2 table both the numbers are there. X plus 5 is equals to 0. X plus 5 both common. X plus 5 over x plus 2 equals to 0. This gives me individually, if I take x plus 5 equals to 0, again x plus 2 equals to 0, and x is equals to minus 5, x is equals to minus 2. I got the zeros. So what are the zeros of this polynomial? One is minus 5, second is minus 2. This is the way how to find. These two are the zeros of this polynomial. What does this mean? Instead of x, this x, if I write minus 5, this entire expression, entire polynomial will be equals to 0. And therefore, this is the reason why I am telling minus 5 is the 0 of this polynomial. Again, if you check, instead of x 2, if you write minus 2, if you write instead of x minus 2 also, this entire polynomial you will get 0. So, and this is the reason why I can say minus 2 is also the 0 of this polynomial. Minus 2 is also the 0 of this polynomial. Let's discuss one more example. 1 2 examples if we discuss, you will get clear. Let me take second one. If it is given, and after that just I will give you questions, you can try yourself. If it is given x square minus 2x minus 8. This is the again quadratic polynomial, but I want to find the 0 of this quadratic polynomial. Means again I want to find x. So what I told you? Steps. Step number 1. Step number 1 I am writing here. Try to follow. Okay, this will give the best answer. Step number 1. What is the step number 1? Multiply the coefficient of x square and of 8, last number. Note it down. This will help you while doing the any kind of this finding the zeros. Coefficient of x square is 1, last constant is 8. Multiply 1 8 is 8. First step is coefficient of x square, you will multiply with the constant. Let me write here. With what I am multiplying? With the constant. Coefficient x square and constant multiply. After multiplying, what I got? 8. Write here 8. Find the factors of 8. 2 4s are 8. I think I got the answer also. Let me check what are the numbers. What is the middle number? The middle number is minus 2. Because this number only I have to split. ये number को ही मुझे तोड़ना. How many parts? 2 parts. This middle number is minus 2. You tell me this 2 and 4 how to write so that the my final answer will be minus 2. Keep it in mind. ये whatever the number you are getting here, ये जो भी नंबर आपको मिल रहा है इनको ऐसे लिखना तो आपका आंसर ये जो मिडिल टर्म है ये आना. Let me write. If I write 2 minus 4, I am getting minus 2. Check it. 2 minus 4. Are you getting minus 2? Okay, 50% over. I told you next 50% you have to check. 2 minus 4 is what? Minus 2. Multiply these two, what you are getting? If I multiply, so 2 minus 4 I am getting minus 2. If I multiply 2 into minus 4, what I am getting? Minus 8. But my multiplication also minus 8. Look at it. 1 into minus 8 is your minus 8. 2 into minus 4 is minus 8. Therefore, these two numbers are the perfect numbers. So two things you have to check. What are the first? The first is select the numbers. After selecting, you check it. How to check? These two numbers must give you this middle number. At any cost, these two numbers must give you the middle number. But how to write? If I write 2 minus 5, my answer will be minus 2. So this is the way. If I write these two numbers 2 and 4 in such a way that my answer must be minus 2, this is the way. 2 minus 4. This 2 minus 4 gives me minus 2. Again 2 into minus 4, which is minus 8, and here also I am getting minus 8. Multiply the coefficient of x square, that is 1. 1 into minus 8, minus 8, and these two numbers, if I multiply that also I am getting minus 8. So therefore x square, instead of this minus 2x, I will write these two numbers, plus 2x minus 4x minus 8. Initially you can write 0 if you want to find. Then from here onwards it will be very easy. Or just take the common. X into x plus 2 minus this 4 and 8 both comes in 4 table. X plus 2 equals to 0. These two are common. That means x plus 2 into x minus 4. Out of these two, these both are common. Write only one. And x minus 4 is equals to 0. This further gives me x plus 2 is equals to 0 and x minus 4 is equals to 0. This gives me x is equals to minus 2 and x is equals to 4. And hence, what are the zeros of this polynomial is minus 2 and 4. It means x को यहाँ से अगर हटा के अगर minus 2 यहाँ substitute करते तो आपका आंसर completely 0 आता. Therefore, I can easily say minus 2 is the zero of the polynomial, as well as 4 is also the zero of the polynomial. I think about concept of the zero you got it. Let me repeat. What is the zero of the polynomial? Nothing. You have to find what is x. That is nothing but your zero of the polynomial. So whenever you are getting the heading, find the zero of the polynomial. I must keep in my mind that I need not to bother, but I have to find what is my x. If it is a linear polynomial, it's a very simple, very simple. If it is a quadratic polynomial, the splitting method is required if there are 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. 3 terms are there. First term, second term, third term. If there are 3 terms, you have to split the middle one. This middle one you have to split. If there are 2 terms, very simple, you can only use the formula. Just like this. Let me do one which has only 2 terms. If there are 2 terms, instead of 3 terms, let me take 2 terms. Find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, second one. If the second one is x square minus 16, this is a given. X square minus 16. Okay. I think 2 terms are there, but this is also quadratic polynomial. This is also quadratic polynomial, but having 2 terms. Quadratic polynomial with 2 terms. Here no splitting is required. Let me remind you, splitting method is only applicable if there are 3 terms. Just before what I did, that is the splitting method. If there are 2 terms, splitting method is not required at all. So what I have to do? Very simple. X square minus 16, let me write equals to 0. X square minus 16 is equals to 0. Or x square is equals to 16. This minus 16 becomes to plus 16. Okay. Now x is equals to root 16. X is equals to root 16. Therefore x is equals to, I got plus or minus 4. That means my x value may be plus 4 or my x value may be minus 4. So what are the zeros of this polynomial? I got the 2 zeros, plus 4 and minus 4. That means instead of x, if I write plus 4, I'll get 0. Look at here, 4 4 the 60 minus 16 0. If instead of x minus 4 also if you write, I'll get 0. So minus 4 gives me 0, plus 4 gives me 0, and hence the answer is zeros of the polynomial. These two are the zeros of the polynomial. Got it? What are the zeros of the polynomial? Very simple. Again I repeat, try to instill your brain. Zeros of the polynomial means nothing. Only you have to find x. Most of the students are getting confused with this. They are not getting find the zeros of the polynomial. What is the meaning of this one? इसका मतलब क्या उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा. The meaning of this one is, in the given polynomial, what I have to write in x so that this entire expression will give me 0. ये x की प्लेस में मुझे कौन सा नंबर लिखना, ये मेरा पूरा जो पॉलिनोमियल 0 होता है. सपोज x की प्लेस में अगर हम 4 लिखें, if instead of x if I write a 4 and if it becomes answer 0, then what I can say? I can say that 4 is the 0 of the polynomial. Simple, final. So these are the ways how to find the zeros of the linear polynomial, the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. Now I am giving few questions. You just better try. Try yourself. If you're not getting, just text me in the comment box. I'll definitely help you out. Find the quadratic polynomial. I'll give the mixture of the polynomial. Few linear, few quadratic. First one is following quadratic polynomial. 3x minus 12. Find the zeros of the following polynomial, not quadratic, following polynomial. The polynomial may be linear or may be quadratic. Following find the zeros of the following polynomial. 3x minus 12. Second one is x square plus x square minus 2x minus 3. Second one. Third one is x square 4x okay. Third. Fourth is, so I am giving one linear polynomial, one quadratic, two quadratic, and one without splitting. 9. So these are the questions that you have to try at least. These are the questions what you have tried. And in the next video, we are going to discuss about from this only. What is the relation between the zeros and coefficient, which most often repeats in the examination? Relation between the zeros and coefficients, and verify the relations. between the zeros and coefficient. What are the relations? We are going to discuss in the next class, but this one try to do it. If any problem, I am here to help you out, but try to at least do this one. Very simple. Exactly, these are all the questions what I taught you today. If you're understanding that one, if you understood that one, definitely you can do this one. Okay, have a good day.